Okay, I want to show you a perfect example of gender dynamics and what goes going on here. This is the Ben Burgess podcast. There's Ben Burgess up here and his pals and his wife. And you can see by her face, she's not a happy camper. She doesn't add anything, as far as I remember when I watched this podcast. She doesn't add anything to the conversation. And she's going to become upset, and she's just going to leave. Now, we'll start it up so you can see what I'm talking about.
Few minor things. Alex is less likable in the book, but in the movie, you do want your main character to be likable, and who's more likable than Malcolm McDowell?
Yeah, yeah.
Was the likability?
You better have somebody really likable. I mean, if you're gonna portray one of the most despicable people who's ever been like a main character in a movie.
And he went on to kill Kirk, so he's bad.
Wow, her face was completely disgusted. And she mouthed something, and she just got up and left. I mean, this is a very disrespectful thing for her to do. And Burgess is too much of a dummy to edit this out. So he put this up for everyone to see and have her disrespect him and his friends here.
Oh, fair enough.
Awkward.
Star Trek is too much for Jen.
Yeah. She walks out whenever Star Trek is brought up. So.
I'm so sorry.
Wow, these guys really know their place. This is them coping. Why are they laughing at this? This guy, Andrew World, he comes off as a completely good guy. He's very respectful. He's respectful for this guy's wife, which she doesn't deserve either. He should be turning around and saying, "What's wrong with you, your wife? What's up with her? I want an explanation." This guy, Andrew World, he deserves better than that. And of course, he's not going to get it. But these guys, they know they're social inferiors to women. So they basically sit in this awkward silence and just take it.
The whole thing.
My bad. I'll be aware next time.
He's apologizing. He's trying to make it like, okay, I better smooth things over. And because if this guy defended himself, guess what? He'd be ousted. Burgess' wife is the one who's in charge. And I suspect she doesn't particularly like any of his friends here. And if she had her way, she'd have a podcast with just him and her. We're talking about the Clockwork Orange, right? But they're not able to do that. This is the gender dynamics of it, right?
That was a joke. I've watched Star Trek movies with Jen.
You see, so he also admits that it has nothing to do with him talking about Star Trek. That was my assumption, is that he brought up something nerdy, which is nothing wrong. But he's basically saying, no, it has nothing to do with that. So obviously she doesn't like this guy, Andrew World. His wife, Jennifer, doesn't like this guy. And this is the thing, guys. Women get rid of excess men, surplus men. And the definition of surplus men is men who don't benefit her directly. So she'll put up with her husband here because he's the provider. But she's not going to have any respect for his guy friends. And this is what it is. If Andrew World was a woman instead of a guy, she would never have done this to him. Matter of fact, I've heard so many conversations with women. Women go off on tangents and talk about geeky stuff all the time. They don't get this kind of disrespect, and they definitely don't get it from people's husbands. And if you look at the chat is going to either make a joke about this or they're going to ignore it.
No, you were talking about Star Trek 2 on Friday. So
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Which what we were talking about it, in the connection there.
There you go. She's going to put her Vulcan ears on, actually. So this guy makes a joke out of it.
Was about utilitarianism, which is.
And the next guy changes the subject. This is what guys do. They either make a joke out of it or they change the subject, or both, because they know they're betters. All these guys in the comment section, they know they're betters. They're social betters. And I've actually been in the chats and talked about gender dynamics, honestly, and it really pisses off these guys. It really does. And here's another one. I want to point this out. I can't put my finger on it because you won't see it. But if you look at the corner of the screen, it used to just be Ben Burgess depicted there, looking serious. Now with podcasts with him and his wife, he's looking serious, and his wife has a shit-eating grin. She's poking to the corner saying, yep, my husband built something up, and I get to be a part of it for free. I didn't have to put anything into it. So this is what married life is. The man works, the woman leeches. I'm sorry, this is just what it is. And sure enough, here's their personal coupling, their live stream, and they're talking about A Clockwork Orange again. Sans all the excess males. So, she's so above those guys. She just said, look, we'll just talk about this subject on our own. And this is, again, the dynamics of it. So I'm glad I am single. I would never want to be married because I would never want to deal with this kind of disrespect. If Burgess had any self-respect at all, he would have had a conversation with his wife and demanded that she publicly apologize to Andrew World. And if she didn't, he would be never having these podcasts with her again. But he knows he can't, because that would cause trouble. He would never have an ounce of peace at home, and she'd probably just dump him eventually. Guys have to serve 100% or they are single. And like I said, I would rather be single. I would rather have self-respect. And the other thing is, all these socialists, I'll say it again, they're LARPers if you're with a woman, because a woman is a capitalist in practice. They might like to wave the Marxist flag, but all their lifestyles are that of the capitalist. They are consumers, and these guys have to compete with other guys. So they in the market, so a diamond ring is a luxury, and the girls want luxuries. So anyway, that's a tangent, but I think this is all I need to say about this. Learn the dynamics.